You didn't see me before this starts, okay? Shh.
I will never. Look at me. I will never. Oh, I will never, people. I will never. You look right at me. I will never. I will never pay a scalper price. I will never. Not for this, and not for that. I will never. Oh, sons of bitches. These sons of bitches. It's Philly Cuts with the Hump Day Haul. I got my Roddy Piper t-shirt on honor of Wrestlemania. Wrestlemania is happening this weekend, and I'm pretty hot. Oh my god, wife swap. Oh my god. Listen, I'm kind of heated. All right, I'm heated up. If you've been watching me, you've been watching my videos. I'm looking for amiibos. I'm trying to find amiibos. I scored a Toad amiibo, okay? I had to wake up early in the morning. Well, actually, I didn't because it was on a work day. I didn't have to wake up any earlier. But anyway, I had to run to Target at 8 o'clock. Before work, I got to get to work by 8:30. Mad dash to the store. I secured one. I secured a Toad. I was the first one there. They had a whole box of Toads. Now, I could have been an asshole, right? And I could have bought the box because they didn't even have a one per customer limit. I could have bought the box because right now for this wave of amiibos, Super Mario, Toad, it's hot. You can't find it anywhere. They're selling on eBay now up to $25-30. Could have bought Toad for $13, the Toads for $13, and doubled my money on each one. Okay? I could have done that. I could have been that guy. I could have denied children happiness, man-children such as myself, happiness, true collectors that want to do it, and not just buy things to scalp it. Okay? Why am I talking about this? I'm pissed, too, about the Majora's Mask 3DS. GameStop released a 4 per store the other day. Very hard to get 3DS, limited edition, Zelda, Majora's Mask. I wanted to get one. I couldn't get it. Lots of people buying it are scalpers, or at least they're gloating on the internet about it. Getting the piece of hardware for $200, then selling it for $400. Well, Darth Vader number 3 came out today, okay? It sold out very quickly. I think that they didn't print enough copies or something, and they're actually rushing a second print. It's already selling on eBay, being scalped, okay, for $12. There's speculation that this may go up. Darth Vader number 3, first printing may go up to $20 or $30 by the weekend. That's the speculation. Bullshit, you know? And I think that lots of people knew this, and they were buying multiple copies to scalp. Just bullshit. You know, I can understand, collecting, maybe you want more than one, but if you're doing it just to simply get a profit and to not deny true collectors their issue, their chance. Look, I was lucky. This was the second to last copy on the newsstand. I could have been a dick once again and bought the other copy to try to sell or to try to flip. But I didn't. And it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. And it pisses me off, and it's getting harder and harder with the Nintendo products for me to get my amiibos. All I want is a Little Mac amiibo and a Star Fox, and I can't find them anywhere because people buy them up, scalp them, and they're trying to sell Little Mac on eBay for $80+. No way. You're never going to get my fucking money like that. Just never. Fuck you. All right. Got it off my chest. Why this was a big issue, too, is that you're introduced to Darth Vader's sidekick. Oh my god, what's her name? It's Dr. something. It's this lovely looking woman on the cover here. Dr. Aphra. Also known as the Indiana Jones of the Star Wars world for some reason. She does kind of look whiptastic. And you get introduced to 2 new Dark droids. So you have 000 Protocol droid, who's actually a master at torture. And then this little guy, whose name I forget, but he's a master of assassination. So bad droids. You know, and I'm like, cool. You know, that's why I want to get it. And I bought the first 2 issues of this, and I'm rather enjoying Darth Vader. I kind of like the Star Wars series a bit better. And then Princess Leia's in a distant third. But I love the artwork in this. I think that Salvador Larroca does an excellent job, as well as the colorist, Edgar Delgado. It just looks very nice. Let me show you a panel or 2. I'm heated up, man. I'm heated up. I'm sorry. I'm heated. I got home and I was just, pissed when I saw that on the computer. And I didn't even... Oh, I didn't. So there's these droids here. They look dark. They look chalky. Ephedrine, Lady Ephedrine, or whatever her name is, Ephedra. She's patching them up, hooking them up for Darth Vader. Darth Vader definitely has an interest in this woman. And I don't know, he just draws Darth Vader so wonderfully. Just wonderful. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so I better put this down very neatly. Don't want to wreck it. Catwoman number 40. Awesome J. Lee cover. I'm really liking it. Says so much. It's Catwoman kind of shedding her mafioso outfit and getting back to the catsuit. Now, are we going to see that more in this issue? This kind of wraps up a 6-story arc written by Genevieve Valentine. And geez, that sounds like a mafia name if there ever was one, huh? This wraps up the 6-story arc. Catwoman taking over the Cabresi crime family, doing battle with Black Mask. Gotta see what happens. I'm kind of hoping that they go in the next story arc, maybe back to a Catsuit Catwoman for a mission or 2. I would kind of like that. I'm kind of missing that. I've been kind of on the fence about this. I mean, the writing is good. Genevieve has crafted a very complicated look at Catwoman. I mean, it's very intricate. It's enjoyable to a point, but I kind of want to see her bouncing off rooftops and burglarizing stuff. You know what I mean? Artwork is pretty cool. They're going to have a new artist in the next issue. I'm not sure who the artist is going to be. This is Gary Brown in here. It's kind of like a noir, postmodern noir look. That's Catwoman, actually, with maybe her lover from the Japanese crime family, whose name I forget. Also in this story arc, it was revealed that Catwoman may, in fact, be bisexual, which I think is great. I think it's hot. That's kind of like what kept me buying the issue, because I was so on the fence about it. All right, more DC. Sinestro, number 11. The Apex League is in this. If you were reading the past couple issues, Sinestro got pretty fucked up by Mongol. He's been captured. Now the Apex League, which was introduced in Future's End number 1, kind of shows what happens. This is kind of like a prequel to the Future's End, obviously, because the Future Ends, I think, they all took place 5 years ahead in the future. So this kind of takes a look at the story of why does Sinestro and the Apex League have this beef. And it is beefy. And Sinestro is still captured, hanging upside down in a very vulnerable position. Look at his eyes. He's kind of freaked out. He's vulnerable, people. We don't really see that, do we? He's vulnerable. Vulnerable in this. And Sinestro kind of calls on the help of the Corps. We all know that he has a very tumultuous relationship with his own Yellow Corps. The Mongols of Fear. And it's just a great book, great series. I'm really enjoying it. I love Sinestro. It's what got me all hooked on Green Lantern. I suggest you go get it. And then finally for DC this month, I got Red Lanterns number 40. And this is the last issue of Red Lanterns. They're discontinuing it, like DC is discontinuing about 25 other titles. Because of this whole convergence event that's going to last for 2 months, which I still don't even know what the hell it is. Sorry I'm being so negative this week, but I still don't get what it is. I don't understand it. All it does, this is what DC has said in official statements. So like, okay, we're doing away with the new 52. We want to focus on more stories that are going to be more diverse characters, more story-driven stories. I'm not going to have to rely on all the backstories of things so much and continuity. We're going to do what, more and more independent comics are doing. It's stuff because they feel like they're losing, their audience and young readers. And they said that there's going to be less tie-in, less crossovers among the titles. But then they're putting out this convergence, which is like spanning like everything. It's like DC, like they have to do like a crossover tie-in bukkake before they get it over with. And Don's like, oh shit, you can still see some of the skin, get it, oh. That's what I feel like it's like. And it's something like 25 different issues or something are going to have these 2-issue mini-stories, and I just have a feeling it's going to be crossover tie-in city on that. And I'm feeling like I don't even want to get involved with it. I don't even want to get involved with it and deal with it. And I think I'm going to sit it out. I really do. I'm not 100% certain yet. I don't know. I might pick up Green Lantern, take a look at it. It might seem cool. I might pick it up. I don't know. But to be honest, I probably need to give my wallet a little bit of a break for a couple months on the DC titles and focus more on amiibos. Because Wave 4 is coming out very shortly in the month of April. I could probably use the funds to pick up those Wave 4 amiibos. My amiibo fever is real, people. It's real. Alright, so Guy Gardner kind of comes to terms with being his Red Lantern self, the Red Lantern of Earth. Does he all of a sudden make a hero turn? Now, I think that he got involved with the Red Lanterns. I don't know. I haven't read the story, but I've heard of it. Because he got sent by Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, to infiltrate the Red Lanterns. And then I'm not sure what happened. That's all that I know. And I guess he got kind of sucked in somehow. I don't know if he ended up getting in a fight with Atrocious, who is the leader of the Red Lanterns, or at least who I believe is the leader of the Red Lanterns based on all the comics that I've read. Remember, I'm new to this, and I've just kind of been popping my cherry in the whole Green Lantern universe, but it's quickly become my favorite universe in DC. So it looks like he's, coming to terms with what it means to be a Red Lantern, and he's conflicted, people. He's conflicted. And last issue, you remember we had the Killer Baby floating around. Well, now it looks like we got Killer Grandma. Killer Grandma flipping out at the diner. They fucking gave her eggs over easy and she wanted them scrambled. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I'm so cheesy this episode. I think we're on 27. I don't remember. Is it number 28 Hump Day Haul? I've lost track. But excellent kind of meltdowns with Guy Gardner. So I don't know what's happening. If he's pulling a Superman Super Flare move there. I don't know. And I'm wondering, what are they going to do with the Red Lanterns? Are they going to be just incorporated more into, the Green Lantern comic? Or I know that they're coming out with Green Lantern Lost Army. Is it going to have something to do with that? Are they going to be popping up more in Sinestro? Because I bought the first trade of this, and I really enjoyed it. And that's what made me buy issue 39 and 40. And I guess I'm just going to go back and buy all the trades, folks. All right, big month this month for me for Image. We got Drifter. I got the variant cover here. Actually, it should go like that. It's kind of a goofy, it almost reminds me of Rumble. Kind of looks like a Rumble pick. James Harden cover, doesn't it? That's what it kind of looks like. This is the final issue of the first story arc, 1 through 5. Once this is over, they're taking a break until July. You can actually pick up the trade in June. Issues 1 through 5 for $10. That's what I always love about Image. When they do their trades, their first trades, they're always $10. That's how they kind of suck you in. And then they're 15 there on in. But, I mean, the story, it's a great Stranger in a Strange Land story. There's lots of questions out there. You're kind of wondering where Abram Pollock's, what his backstory is fully, what's his deal. There's a lot of questions about that. But, I mean, the real star of this, not only the writing by Ivan Brandon, but Nic Klein, who's the artist. He gets credit for the full art. The stuff that he does in this is just looks absolutely amazing. And I know that my camera doesn't do any justice, but he's doing the coloring, he's doing the penciling, the inking, I guess. He's doing everything. And it just looks awesome. And this strange looking fellow, in the last issue, Abram Pollock's got accused by this guy of taking out a certain creature. This dude took exception to it, knocked Abram Pollock's out in this seedy-looking bar place, or one of his minions knocked him out. And that's where this issue kind of picks up. You have a religious character in here, a preacher that's been kind of going around murdering people, murdering sinners. And there's some key showdowns in here. Like, what happens? Does she do it? Spoiler alert. That's the preacher. That's the son of a preacher man. And his time may be up, folks. But look at this. Look at that artwork of the eyes. The bags under his eyes and the coloring and the shading. I mean, I love this. I love Nic Klein, and I was never familiar with him until this work. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for him because I really love his artwork. Look at this spread. This guy kind of finds a graveyard, and I'm just going to give you guys a little hint. He finds some real fucked up shit in this graveyard that pertains to him. And the way the story ends is such a cliffhanger. I did leaf through this very quick. That, you know, if you've been following this, your mind's kind of going to be blown and you're going to be hooked to buy this again in July. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right. Wytches Bitches, Scott Snyder, Jacques, Hollandsworth, who's the colorist, who is my biggest complaint with Wytches. It's a cool story. The main character is a 13-year-old girl, Sailor, who was involved in like a bullying incident, and she ended up killing her bully. You know, she fought back, the bully got killed, and the family kind of hot-tailed it out of the city, you know, where they were, and they moved out to the country because they didn't want to be around all the fallout and the drama that occurred after that. Anyway, there are these beings, these ancient beings that live in the woods and trees, witches, and they live in these burrows, and Sailor has gotten kind of sucked into one of these burrows, and her dad, who, you know, as we've read in earlier issues, is not exactly the perfect dad, seems to have had a drinking problem. I think he's a writer. You know, makes me wonder how much is this based on Scott Snyder himself, maybe? I don't know. I don't think Scott Snyder has a drinking problem, but you always wonder how much how much of oneself the writer puts in a story, you know? It kind of raises questions. So he has to find Sailor and get her out of one of these burrows, and I guess he goes down, takes the plunge into one of the rabbit holes. There's a full-page spread of, like, one of the trees that they would inhabit. Now, the complaint I have about Hollandsworth is they're doing this like color splotching thing, okay? Like they have like this filter on it. You see how it's all splotchy? That's not my camera. I know it's a shitty camera, but it's not my camera. And they do all these like splotching, and you know, it's like a Jackson Pollock light kind of thing going on over the top of the comic. And it just gets to the point where it's just too distracting. And it really, like, obliterates things. And, like, I don't know what it's supposed to fucking mean. I don't know if it means that these witches are, like, it's through their line of vision or something, or they're, like, clouding the characters. I don't know what it's supposed to mean. Like, why? I mean, why go with that style? I just think that they could have done something different. And, I just don't get it. And here's Daddy putting stink all over himself. Look at this. He reaches into a jar labeled stink, and he starts eating it, and it looks all kind of like sexual and weird the way he's putting it in his mouth. I mean, there's some pretty weird, disturbing stuff throughout this book. And you see some of the creatures here, and they all do their little chit-chatting. And I guess these witches can kind of fulfill some of your yearnings, some of your longings, but what you have to do is you got to pledge someone, and they take that pledge. It's kind of like their payment. Their payment. Now I know that we've read about that in other stories and stuff, but I like it. Okay, Rumble Baby, the Killer Scarecrow, right? The weird mythical scarecrow, Wrathgrap, forget his name. Remember, people, I'm reading like 45 titles a month, so I get things screwed up. Wrathrack. Last issue, we learned his origin story. We learned that his soul was extracted from him. He didn't always look like a scarecrow. His soul was extracted and kind of kept by these gods for thousands of years. And I guess his soul is still kind of like in purgatory. This is by the crew of John Arcudi, James Herron, and Dave Stewart, the same crew that is doing BPRD right now. It's a Dark Horse crew, people, on Image. I mean, you could just tell. I mean, look at the artwork here by James Herron. Let me show you guys. The wonderful James Herron, Dave Stewart combo of the colors. I mean, you could just... look at this flame on. And some iciness. Look at that flame creature. You can just tell. You can just tell that it's him. Strange little creatures digging into beans. Or whatever it is. I mean, those little creatures look very BPRD-ish, don't they? The BPRD people will understand. But I guess that this issue kind of shifts back to the, there's these two dopes that are in this series too. They're like these everymen, average Joe Schmo, such as myself, and they're kind of thrust into this situation where they got to help this scarecrow. And he kind of recruits them to do some things. And it's an interesting story. I'm liking it. I'm going to stick with it. I want to see where it goes. I suggest you check it out. If you are a BPRD fan or anything like Hellboy Universe, I think that you're going to like it. All right, another Image title. We got the Autumnlands number 5. I think this is the variant cover. It's one of the bat creatures that was introduced in the last issue. This is kind of a wordy, lengthy issue. Anthropomorphic animals, as always. It's kind of slow moving. This is a very slow burn story. It's kind of like the factions are forming in the story. There's this one Fox character who's a traitor, and he's kind of playing both sides of the fence. There's these good guys that were wizards, and the magic, all the magic in the land there was like a deficit of magic. So they all got together, they started to conjure up a spell in order to summon more magic and to get help from this guy known as the Great Champion. Anyway, things went wrong. They tried to, I guess some of the wizards that were trying to cast this spell were inexperienced, didn't know what they were doing, and their whole city, which was kind of like a city in the clouds, collapses down, crumbles, it gets ruined. The rest of the story, kind of since issue number 1, started off with a big bang. It's kind of just been these people, these anthropomorphic creatures, kind of recovering from that devastation, trying to figure out who's going to be the leader, you know, who's going to take charge. The great champion did get summoned. He ends up being, of all things, a human. And he's kind of like this Ron Perlman kind of, you know, macho, everyday kind of guy. Kind of reminds me of like Hellboy a little bit, you know. He's kind of just a pretty straightforward, kind of trash talking. He's not very eloquent, not a very elegant speaker. I don't know if that will come in, but, you know, he swears, he drops the F-bomb. None of my fucking business, how you guys run things, coups, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's just kind of like an ordinary man. He looks like a Neanderthal, you know? Kind of looks like a modern age Neanderthal. But I really enjoy this book. I think that, I think the writer is, Kurt Busiek. The artist is Benjamin Dewey. I think that he's, you know, creating and forging a very layered and complex world, and I'm just enjoying meeting different creatures. Every episode, it seems a new one kind of pops up. And this is the bad guy. This is head of these like evil bisons. He's known as 7 Scars. If you notice on his forehead, he has 7 scars. So he's kind of villainous. This guy here, the Spuds McKenzie looking dog. I can't never do this backwards. The Spuds McKenzie looking dog, he lost his father in the first issue, and he's kind of really taken on an affinity for the great champion. So it's kind of like this weird father-son dynamic that's kind of forging between them. And I don't know, I like it, all right? I like it. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. All right, Boom Comics, Nightbreed. This is finally picking up. I'm finally starting to be happy with how this is going. I felt that the first 8 issues, you know, were just so dreary, and all it did was focus on backstories. You know, it just told the backstory of like every single character. And it's like, why are you blowing your backstory loads on everyone, you know, right up front? I mean, what, don't you think down the line you may want to tell a backstory? Like, I kind of like the approach that Bitch Planet is taking. I guess Bitch Planet, I think every 3rd issue or something, they're going to tell like a little bit of a backstory of the main characters. This one, it was like every issue they were telling a backstory of like 2 characters. They divide up the artwork in this. So the story of Boone and Laurie is done by Emmanuel Xavier, and the story of the Breed is done by Devmalia Promanik. Never heard of him. I do miss the artwork of Peter Kowalski, and he did like the first 8 or 9 issues, most of the artwork. But in this issue, Boone, now known as Cabal, who is the great savior, the prophet of the Nightbreed, there's dissension between the ranks, between the Breed and Daniel Boone, because Boone, as part of his prophecy, the underground city of Midian got destroyed, and the Breed, who are these kind of ragtag looking characters here, they have, you know, magic powers, and they can shape shift, some of them. They're monsters. They're like misfits, misunderstood. You have to watch the movie Nightbreed. I keep telling all you guys that. And oh my God, where was I? I can't even remember. They're mad at Boone because Boone, you know, got their town destroyed, and he hasn't been helping them find a new place to live. And that's it. This story now, I think after issue number 9, takes place after Nightbreed, the director's cut movie, where at the end of that movie, Midian, where these creatures used to live, it got destroyed. And now they need to find a new home. But Boone's been kind of absentee, kind of just chilling with his girlfriend in here, and hasn't really been helping out the Breed, and the Breed is starting to get pissed. And there's Boone there. He got fucked up by one of these big creatures here. You see that lump of shit looking dude? That's a berserker. and he pretty much disemboweled Boone. So it's going to be interesting to see what Boone is going to do. And if you can see in this panel here, the one that I can't do because I'm retarded, that's Boone kind of shape-shifting and getting all gnarly, getting all Nightbreedy. Alright, so I'm happy that that's picking up. And then finally, by IDW Comics, you have the Steve Niles, Damian Worm, October faction. Think of the dysfunctional Addams family. They don't get along. They're monster hunters. Daddy was a big-time monster hunter. He kind of retired, became a professor, but he's getting sucked back into it. There's this dude, Robot Face, a.k.a. Dante, who has a personal vendetta against the family. He's been kind of stalking the sister there on the cover. And that's the brother there. And I guess Robot Face and the brother, I think his name's Jeffrey, if I remember. I can't remember. They end up having a battle in here. There ends up being a showdown between those two. He's tired of Robot Face messing with his family and stalking his family. So I love the coloring in this book. I love, the dark. It's very, very dark. It's very like Nightmare Before Christmassy kind of dark. Lots of blues, lots of purples, lots of lavenders. Very, very dark. So if that's your kind of gig, I like that the borders are black too. You'll probably enjoy this book. And this is an ongoing series. And I don't think it's like the Image Comics after issue 5 that ends the first arc. Yep, this is coming out next month with an issue 6. So I won't have to wait. Alright, guys. I think that's it. And I ended a few minutes early. So let me know what you think of Scalpers. Did I overreact? Am I just being a baby? And let me know if you scored an issue of Darth Vader number 3, if that's what you were going for this week. And Scalpers be damned. Damn you all. And I wish Roddy Piper was still in his prime. I loved Roddy Piper. My favorite. Who was your favorite wrestler of all time, too? That might be something good to talk. Oh, yeah. And the cover of the week. As much as I've been having problems and difficulties with this comic and being conflicted, Catwoman number 40. I like it. Shedding those mafiosa clothes and hinting a little bit of the backside. All right, Selina Kyle. I love you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace. Have a great day.